The story of the creation of the world and of Adam and Eve is one of the most well-known narratives in the Bible. It describes the beginning of everything, the creation of the universe, the earth, and all life within it. It is a story that reveals the majesty and power of God, as well as the purpose of humanity. The book of Genesis, the first book of the Bible, presents us with this magnificent divine work. According to the biblical account, God created the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh, forming Adam from the dust of the ground and Eve from one of Adam's ribs. This account is not only an explanation of the origins of life, but also an introduction to the central themes of the Christian faith, such as the nature of God, the dignity of humanity, and the importance of obedience. Join us as we explore this fascinating and meaningful story, from the moment God said, "Let there be light," to the creation of the first man and woman. The story of creation and of Adam and Eve is rich in symbolism and teachings that transcend time and continue to resonate today. On the first day of creation, God brought light into the universe, breaking the primordial darkness with his powerful word, "Let there be light." This divine light not only illuminated the chaos, but also established the first order in the cosmos, separating light from darkness. God called the light day and the darkness night, marking the beginning of time and the diurnal cycle that would govern life on earth. This initial act of creation symbolizes God's absolute power and his role as the source of all light and life. As we contemplate the beauty of this light, we can reflect on the importance of the spiritual light that God offers to all of us, guiding us through the darkness of ignorance and sin. The creation of light on the first day is a constant reminder of divine goodness and wisdom, laying the foundation for all that would follow. On the second day, God created the firmament, a vast expanse that separated the waters above from the waters below. This firmament was called heaven, and its creation introduced structure and order into the cosmos, dividing the waters and creating a habitable space for future life. The formation of heaven not only organized the chaotic elements, but also set the stage for subsequent acts of creation. The firmament represents the majesty and transcendence of God, who established an orderly and beautiful universe. As we look at the sky, we remember God's creative power and his ability to transform chaos into order. This second day highlights the divine ability to shape and structure the universe, creating an environment conducive to life and development. It is a demonstration of divine care and intention in every aspect of creation. On the third day, God made dry land appear by commanding the waters under the heavens to gather into one place. He called the dry land earth and the gathered waters seas. But his creation did not stop there. God also ordered the earth to produce vegetation, plants bearing seed and fruit trees bearing fruit with seed in it. This act of creation was crucial to preparing the earth for the life that would follow. Vegetation not only provided food, but also created complex ecosystems that would sustain the diversity of life. This day highlights God's generosity and provision, creating a world full of resources and natural beauty. As we contemplate the vastness of the oceans and the richness of flora, we are reminded of the abundance of divine creation and the interconnectedness of all life on earth. The earth, in all its diversity and complexity, is a testament to God's wisdom and goodness. On the fourth day, God created the lights in the firmament of the sky to separate day from night, and to serve as signs to mark times, days, and years. He made 2 great lights, the greater light to govern the day, which is the sun, and the lesser light to govern the night, which is the moon. He also made the stars. These celestial bodies are not only sources of light, but also markers that help regulate the rhythm of life on earth. The creation of the sun, moon, and stars symbolizes the precision and order of the universe created by God. They not only provide light and heat, but also serve as witnesses to God's greatness. As we look at the starry sky, we remember the immensity of the cosmos and the central role that God plays in maintaining everything in harmony. This day of creation invites us to reflect on the balance and beauty of the universe, which reflect divine perfection. On the fifth day, God created the sea creatures and birds. He commanded the waters to teem with living creatures and the birds to fly above the earth across the firmament of the sky. God created the great sea creatures and every living thing that moves in the waters, and every winged bird, each according to its kind. He blessed these creatures, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth." This act of creation shows the diversity and complexity of life that God brought into the world. Sea creatures and birds represent the fullness of divine creation, each with its role and place in the ecosystem. This day highlights God's generosity and blessing on life, encouraging the reproduction and continuity of species. The variety of marine and avian life reminds us of God's creativity and power, filling the world with life and beauty. On the sixth day, God completed the creation of the world with the creation of land animals, and finally, human beings. He created livestock, wild animals, and all the creatures that move along the ground, each according to its kind. But the culmination of creation was the formation of man and woman. God said, "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, the livestock, the whole earth, and all the creatures that move along the ground." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it." The creation of human beings marks the pinnacle of God's creative work, highlighting the dignity and responsibility given to humanity. God formed Adam from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. God planted a garden in Eden and placed the man he had formed there. In the garden, he made all kinds of trees grow that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. In the middle of the garden were the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God put the man in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it, and he gave him this command: "You are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat of it, you will surely die." Then God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep, and while he was sleeping, he took one of his ribs and made a woman, and brought her to the man. Adam and Eve lived in perfect harmony with God and creation in the Garden of Eden. They enjoyed direct communion with God and had everything they needed for a full and satisfying life. However, the story takes a dramatic turn when the serpent, more cunning than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made, approaches Eve. The serpent questions God's command and deceives Eve, leading her to eat the forbidden fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Eve then gives the fruit to Adam, who also eats it. This disobedience marks the fall of humanity, introducing sin and mortality into the world. God confronts Adam and Eve about their disobedience, and as a result, they are expelled from the Garden of Eden. This expulsion symbolizes the rupture in the relationship between God and humanity, but also inaugurates the long path of redemption that would culminate in the coming of Jesus Christ. The story of creation and of Adam and Eve is not just a tale of origins, but also a lesson on obedience, temptation, and redemption. It reminds us of God's goodness and the original purpose of humanity, as well as the consequences of sin. The narrative shows us that, despite our fall, God never abandoned us. He continued to reveal himself throughout history, offering paths of reconciliation and redemption. The story of Adam and Eve is fundamental to understanding human nature and the need for salvation, concepts central to the Christian faith. We invite you to reflect on these themes and share this story with others. Subscribe to our channel, like, and share this video for more fascinating Bible stories. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the sacred pages of the Scriptures.